The WCW in the late 90s, early 2000s is responsible for some of the worst storylines that wrestling has ever created. So today's episode is another one of those. The WCW had a lot of different titles: the Heavyweight Championship, the US Championship, the Tag Team titles, the Cruiserweight titles, and then they had the TV title. Because you know, there's the World Champion, there's the US Champion, and then there's the Television Champion. World, United States, Television. Anyways, it's actually anyway. There's no such thing as anyways. If you say anyways, you're a bumbling buffoon. Anyways, Scott Hall, who you might know as Razor Ramon, or if you're his nephew, you just know him as Uncle. Scott Hall wins the Television Championship. It's not the most prestigious belt. It's typically given to lower card wrestlers who are not that popular. Being the TV champion means you are the best of the worst. He definitely doesn't take it seriously, so much so that he and his best buddy Kevin Nash decide to throw it in the trash. They actually play out a whole possession of basketball with the Television Championship and toss it in the trash. Kevin Nash slam dunks it. Flash forward months later, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you know, the guy, he would yell, he would walk around with a 2x4, he had a wood stick with him. You know, Triple H has the sledgehammer and Sting uses the baseball bat. Hacksaw's weapon of choice was aisle 1 at Home Depot. So Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who at this time in his career was, I guess, going through hard times, and he had begun being the WCW's janitor. He would wrestle matches, but he would also be in charge of sanitation and cleaning up and emptying the garbages. And if you're not familiar with the storyline, I bet you can guess what happens next. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, while cleaning up backstage one day, happens upon a garbage with the Television Championship in it. So he literally picks it out of the trash and is now the TV champion, because he found it and it's his and he laid claim to it. And yet nobody said a word. They were just cool with him playing finders keepers with a championship belt. Needless to say, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was the final Television champion, and they retired the belt immediately after his title reign.